You know what? You think about the holidays, what do you think about? You dread going over to the relatives because you know there's going to be some sort of altercation? Doesn't need to be that way. Hey, I'm Scotty J, host and producer of Trailer Trash TV. I want to welcome you to this very special holiday presentation of Trailer Trash TV. And what we're going to do, they say that St. Nicholas has this naughty and nice list. He knows when you've been naughty and he knows when you've been nice. And, we're going to take a look back in time to the atomic age of the 1950s. What we're going to do, we're going to show you the Wonder Bread method of behavior. What I mean by that, this is going to be a special showcase of some of my very special manners and behavior films. How to be nice and what happens if you're not. What I mean, we're going to be going into some classic instructional films from the 1950s. This first one from 1959, entitled The Troublemaker. And what it is a boy goes sour on life and resorts to troublemaking. And his fellow students must learn how to cope with and combat the menace. So what we're going to be doing, this is presented over the top, real horrifically in the manner, this is how adults wanted kids to behave, or how they felt kids should behave. And yes, some of it could still hold true today, but take this with a grain of salt, for it was, alas, the 1950s. So check this out, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, but still, we can take them. They got a bigger line than we do, too.
I don't think we have to worry about it, though. If Dean can hit Andy with a couple passes, we'll be in.
Yeah, it works all right.
Hey, you guys want to hear something?
That depends on what it is.
Well, this is too good to keep. The other night I was out with Susan Harper.
Susan?
Yeah. Oh, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. You're not going steady with her, are you?
No.
Oh, well, in that case, I stay at home from the library.
Susan said that?
Yeah, that's what she said. No kidding.
No.
Yeah. Hey, there's the bell. We better
Oh, I got it. Take it easy, guys. See you back later.
I think he's just bragging. I doubt if he even had a date with Susan. Mel's the kind of guy who'd say anything to get some attention. See you at practice.
This looks pretty good. Why don't we stay right here, Susan?
Fine. Let's see. I'll ask you some questions from the end of the chapter. Then you can ask me some.
Okay.
Ready? Why is force a vector quantity?
Because it has both magnitude and direction.
That's right. What instrument is normally used for measuring force? That's the next question, Dean. What instrument is normally used for measuring force?
Susan, did you go out with Mel Stone?
Why, no. Why?
I just wondered.
He gave me a ride home from the library the other night. That's all. I don't like him very much. He kept telling me about all the girls he'd been out with. Here, I think you better ask me the questions for a while.
Okay. Let's see. Well, here's one. Why don't you give me Newton's first law?
Oh, I hope I can remember that.
Page 80. You know you're boning up on the wrong thing, don't you?
The test covers pages 70 to 80. That's what Miss Adams told us.
Yeah, I know. That's what she told everybody. But I took the test second hour this morning. I can tell you what the questions really are.
I suppose the honor system applies to everybody but you and me.
Okay, I was just trying to do a friend a favor.
Excuse me, I see Marilyn, and I want to give her back the pen I borrowed. Bye, Dean.
Bye, Susan.
Boy, she sure is a nice-looking girl.
She's nice, period.
Oh, hey, Dean. Hey, Dean. How's football practice coming?
We keep at it.
Yeah, I was watching scrimmage the other day. You look real good. You know that long pass you threw? How long was that? 35 yards?
I don't know, it might have been.
Yeah, it might have been if Andy caught us. You know, I'm crazy about football. I always have been. I used to play it all the time when I was little. Only thing, I stayed little. But, you know, I never got over liking it. I'll bet I know those plays as well as you guys do. I mean, I watch them that close.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, that's how come I can spot it when somebody's not doing his job, like Andy not catching that pass. I wonder if the coach knows Andy's breaking training.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I thought you'd be interested. I thought you'd like to know where the foul-up is, because you can't win that game with East High by yourself, and Andy's letting you down.
Listen, Mel, you start spreading guff like that around, and I'll personally shut you up.
It's not guff. It's true. The other night at 10:30, I saw him walking down Jefferson Street, and he's supposed to be in bed at 10. Yeah, as a matter of fact, that was the night I took Susan home from the library. Ask her if you don't believe me. How I was coming back from taking her home when I saw it. I think somebody ought to tell the coach, don't you?
I told you, if you start spreading anything against Andy...
Well, why should I tell the coach anything? It's your team.
Oh, forget it.
Okay, suit yourself. I still think you ought to tell him.
Go, gang! Hut one! Hut two!
Take it easy, Andy. We'll get it next time.
Okay.
Was that a rough one today, or was it a rough one?
Well, I guess.
You start things up, really stuck up.
No, I think I'll start tomorrow.
See you, Dean. Andy?
Bye, Dean.
Okay, gang.
Bye, Andy.
Say, Andy,
Yeah?
have you been staying up late at night or something?
Who told you?
Nobody has to tell me your timing's all off. You act like you're all tired out or something.
I get plenty of sleep.
Andy?
Look, Dean, I wasn't actually lying to you. I've got to do this. Believe me, I've got to.
I don't get it. You know how important that game is, and you know what the training rules are.
You bet I know how important that game is. And that's why I've been out walking late at night when nobody could see me. But I didn't lie. I get plenty of sleep. I take a nap every night, right after supper, before I start studying. I just go out for a walk just before I go to bed.
But why?
That bad knee. In the last game, I got it twisted, just a little bit. But you know what the coach said. If it ever bothered me again, I was through. I just couldn't let him or anybody see me exercising it. I've had to do the work on my own.
Andy, you might be hurting yourself. I think you better tell the team doctor.
And get sidelined? No, sir. I know what I'm doing. Tomorrow's my last game, and I intend to play in it. The walking I've been doing's working. That knee's a lot better than it was 3 days ago.
I still don't like it. I wish you'd tell the coach or the doctor.
I'll be all right, Dean. Don't worry about me. You'd better worry about getting home and getting some sleep yourself. You didn't have a nap after supper.
Wouldn't you know it? Mel Stone.
Do you think he saw us?
I think he saw us.
Third down on the 27-yard line.
My, our All-American boys are getting clobbered.
Pass interception and touchdown for East High by 6. The kick was no good.
Come on, gang, let's go!
First and 10 on the 35-yard line. The ball carrier was Wilson, number 11.
It's Andy. He's hurt.
Get up, Andy!
The injured player is Andy McGuire.
Come on, gang, get with it. Come on, you guys. Quit loafing. You're not hurt. Let's play ball.
Is he hurt or just tired? I may have to ask that little question at the dance tonight.
Golly, everybody's sort of quiet tonight. I guess they're tired after the game.
Susan, you can't have much of a victory celebration without a victory.
Don't feel badly. We all knew they were going to be tough. I just hope Andy isn't hurt seriously. Uh-oh, look who's coming.
Oh, why so glum, football hero? You didn't actually expect to win against guys who stick to training, did you?
Mel.
That's right, Susan. You don't know about Dean and Andy, do you?
I know they played a hard game against a team that was a lot bigger than they were.
Let it go, Susan. It doesn't matter.
Well, it does to me. You know what I think of you, Mel. I think you're just plain jealous of Dean and Andy. They're athletes, and they get along well in class. And everybody likes them. And you just can't stand that.
Boy, she's really sold on you, isn't she? I guess you didn't tell her where you were late last night. I guess she doesn't know why you played such a rotten game.
Dean, what's he talking about?
Why don't you get lost, Mel? What good is all this doing you anyway?
Did you hear? The lady wants to know what I'm talking about.
I don't want to hear it.
Sure you do. You're just dying to hear it. As a matter of fact, everybody here is dying to hear it. Go ahead, make a speech, hero.
Please, Mel.
Are you going to speak up, Deanie boy, or shall I tell?
You're bothering us. Beat it.
In almost every group, you find him, the troublemaker, who hurts himself and the others around him. What makes a person like Mel act the way he does? Is the group ever at fault? How would you cope with someone like Mel in your group? Could you help him? What do you think?
So, as you saw, troublemaking used to be something as more of just a nuisance. You know, nobody carried guns. Nobody carried blades. You were turning pranks in school, putting things in the teacher's desk. Maybe you wrote on your desk. Simpler time, simpler problems. Things have changed a lot, and not so much in a favorable way, sad to say. But we're going to take a break, and we're going to take a little page out of Santa's wish book. This is little samplings of wishes he may have received over the years. You know, some of it might be toys, some of it might be products from days gone by. But enjoy these, and we'll be right back with some more Minding Your Manners education. Stay tuned.
Hello there. You know, I've been all around this wonderful world of ours, and in all of this world, nothing else is silly putty. What is silly putty? Well, it's a real solid liquid. If you pull it so, it'll go forever, like taffy. But if you give it a sharp tug, it'll break like a biscuit. Now, when you make silly putty round and drop it, it'll bounce higher than a rubber ball. And here's something else you can do with silly putty. Flatten it, press a picture in your newspaper, lift it, stretch it this way and that, and you'll get something that's really funny. Always put your silly putty back in its egg, or it will run slowly away. You can buy silly putty for $1 wherever toys are sold. And remember, nothing else is silly putty.
Still tied score. And here's the tie-breaking question for Fenella with her magic Etch-a-Sketch and her opponent Maximilian with his magnetic Magnasticks. Ready? Draw or build the biggest animal in the jungle. It's the elephant. They're both right. How do they do it? Etch-a-Sketch draws and writes like magic. Turn the knobs and the lines go up and down and all around. No crayons, no chalks, never any mess. Turn Etch-a-Sketch upside down and shake, and everything disappears. Magnasticks builds things magnetically. No nails, no screws, no messy glue. You get over 100 pieces to make trains, planes, animals, dolls, and pretty designs. Develop artistic and scientific skills with Etch-a-Sketch and Magnasticks. They're kid-tested toys from the Ohio Art Company. Hi-yo!
You know, look around. This is kind of nice. You know, sitting in front of the fire and the tree up. You know, this is what I remember Christmas being. I'm hoping as you're watching this for the first time Christmas Day night, whether you celebrated Christmas Eve, whether you celebrated today, or if you're still celebrating while you're watching this. I hope you had a happy and safe holiday. By all means, if you're indulging in the libations, please hand your keys over. It's not worth the trip home. 9 times out of 10, you'd either get stopped on the way or you wouldn't make it home, period. So I can't stress it enough. Be safe the remainder of this holiday season. We want to see you back for the show next season. But going into our second film, speaking of the holidays, this one delves right into the middle of Thanksgiving. This film is called Dining Together from 1948. A little company called Children's Films, I want to say, but it was meant as an instructional film for kids, we'll say 4, 5, 6-year-old range, on how to have good manners, how to set the table, how to behave around the grown-ups on the holidays. I'm laughing about this because, well, you know what? Let's take a look at this, and I'll share that story with you when we come back. Happy holidays from Trailer Trash TV.
This is a story of a holiday and home. Helping make ready a celebration is part of the fun. Especially for one of the nicest days of the year, Thanksgiving. There is happiness in the air. And the smell of turkey. That does look good. Thanksgiving is a day for the best of everything. And friends invited to dinner. We remember the Pilgrims had only rough tables on which to serve the first Thanksgiving feast, yet it was shared with friendly Indians. It is good to share a holiday with friends. And it is good to have friends like to come to our home. Good manners make people happy, and good table manners make eating together a happy time. We are thankful for our home and our happy meals. We are glad we have good table manners and know what to do with a napkin. And how to use a spoon in eating soup easily without noise. It just wouldn't be Thanksgiving without turkey. We know Mother knows how to cook it. And Father knows how to carve it. It is fine to know how to sit up and watch it being carved. would know this is a holiday plate. At the first Thanksgiving dinner, the Indians didn't eat turkey with a fork. But it is easy to learn to use one the right way, to take small mouthfuls. And how to butter and eat bread in small bites, so we never have to talk with food in our mouths. It is good to have learned to chew with lips closed and know when to take a drink. Good table manners keep our meals happy meals, and those who eat with us happy. Learning to use a knife the right way takes practice, yet each time we do, it becomes easier. What to do with a knife and fork, even when finished using them, is part of eating well. Holidays are days to be glad, and all good manners are ways to make people glad. We like to offer help, or to help when asked. It is nice to talk with others, and to know when to wait and listen. We are glad to eat neatly, without spots. Holidays are fun. And it is good to be part of a celebration. It is fine to have learned so much, and to have so much in our home to make holiday celebrations happy. Now, could you wish for more?
So dining together, and God help you if you put the wrong fork on the wrong side of the plate. I'm so glad times have changed in this respect in a lot of ways. But the reason I was laughing before we went into this film was think back to if you had a large holiday gathering, if it was Christmas, if it was Thanksgiving, whatever. Think about when they had the grown-ups table and you had the kids table or kids tables. Well, up until last year, I was at the kids table. No, seriously, think about what excitement you had and how exciting it was the day or that one holiday where you finally got to graduate from the kids table to the grown-up table, and how special that felt. And the more you thought about it, maybe you made it halfway through the meal, maybe you made it all the way to dessert, but before long you were right back at the kids table because adults were old and boring. Sometimes in a lot of ways they still are. Anyway, so we're going to take a break, and we are going to, after looking at that first film, The Troublemaker, it pales in comparison to being bad today. Not that I've ever been naughty, mind you. I've always been a perfect angel in my mother's eyes. May lightning strike. Anyway, the remainder of the films are so over the top about being good, I had to finish the show with films regarding good manners, how to be good, how to play nice. Speaking of playing nice, that's the topic of our next film. And we'll be right back after this break. If you get any ideas, from these commercials, see how many of these things are still being produced. Maybe we'll be able to find some of this stuff as collectibles now. We'll be right back. Okay, so before I go any further, I got some people to thank. I got to thank the staff at Northwest Community TV for, I say it time and again, for continuing to let me in the building. They keep leaving the door unlocked for some reason, so I'm able to get in. But I got to thank everyone for all their support of whether it's Scotty J's Trailer Trash or Trailer Trash TV throughout the years. And please, if you have any comments, if you got any ideas, please let me know what you think. sjtrailertrash@yahoo.com is my email. And, let me know what you think. I mean, the regular Scotty J's Trailer Trash, check your local cable listings, see what time and channel I'm on. I showcase classic B-movie trailers, classic cliffhangers, classic commercials, and classic classroom films. Say that 3 times fast. But it's an hour-long show, and it's a fun look back at basically times gone by. And what we're going to do now, we're going to go into something called playing together. How to play nice and what happens when you don't play nice. So what we're going to do, think back to the time basically an hour or two before the meal. What we're doing, think back to when you had your brothers and sisters or your cousins, everybody and their uncle that you were distantly related to or otherwise, and everybody was playing together, whether it was a living room, whether it was playing, having snowball fights outside. Guaranteed somebody would always come in bawling, usually me. And, somebody would either, you'd have somebody console you, and whoever started the ruckus would get a nice little talking to. Sometimes you guys would be separated for the rest of the day. Once in a while, somebody might get a swat. It all depends. So this is all about playing nice. How to get along with your fellow siblings, with your friends, what have you. So with that said, this is from 1950. It's, in a nutshell, this is verbatim now from the film's description, I quote, "It's a film that teaches children how to be on one's best behavior during playtime." and it may show the consequences of what happens when you don't play nice, like I had said. So let's kick back, let's take a look back, and we'll be right back. Stay tuned.
This is a story of Donnie and Duncan and good sportsmanship. You would like to play with Donnie and Duncan and do things with them, such as eating a picnic lunch in the park. Donnie wants to go swimming the moment they've finished eating. But when Duncan reminds him about waiting an hour after lunch, Donnie agrees to go to the playground first. He does forget to help pick up the lunch papers, though Duncan does it quickly enough. There's a spill when Donnie turns too suddenly by the playground gateway, and he's sorry. But Duncan says it's all right. It doesn't hurt much and doesn't let a bump spoil the fun. Fun is spoiled, though, by one who is unfair in games or sports. Or by a boastful person. Donnie likes to go swimming with Duncan because Duncan has been more often and knows what to do at the pool. He doesn't let Donnie bring the stick inside the pool house because it's against the rules. Like Duncan, Donnie turns in his basket of clothes and gets his identification tag, which he must be sure to keep. And both boys remember to take showers before they enter the pool enclosure. Today, special events are taking place at the pool. And it's hard for Donnie not to run to join the crowd. They're just in time to see a race. Duncan's friend lost, but the loser is glad to hear Duncan say, "A nice try anyway." What have we here? A comedy team. This is a special event. Only great skill would make this safe. And you really see the skill in a dive such as this. After the program, the pool fills with swimmers. Donnie and Duncan go to the more shallow water, yet deep enough for diving. And Duncan makes sure no one is in the way before he dives. Donnie is just learning to swim, so he jumps into the shallow pool. He takes a ducking when Duncan comes to help him. But a mouthful of water doesn't keep him from trying. Duncan and a friend asked Donnie to judge a race between them. And Duncan finds the friend faster. Donnie knows it's time to leave. And as he and Duncan walk toward the dressing rooms, he sees another boy remember that no shoving on the pool deck is one of the rules. Good sportsmanship makes any play more fun. And that is one of the reasons Donnie and Duncan have such good times together. Wouldn't you like to spend a day with Donnie and Duncan?
Hang on. All right. What? Yep. Hey. Hey. It's me, Scotty J. On behalf of Trailer Trash, I just want to wish you all a happy and safe holiday season. I'm going to keep it short because I got to see what else I got. Oh, boy. Hot Wheels.
Zoom it. Zoom it. Zoom it. Zoom it from Mattel.
So, okay, over the course of this show, you've just seen how horribly whitewashed things seem to be not more than 50 years ago. But in a strange way, you kind of wish elements of this could come back, just simply for how horrific some things are right now. You could take a look at war. You could take a look at poverty. But a lot of ways, things are never as bad as they may seem. And if you're going through a tough time this holiday season, keep your chin up. Things are going to get better. And if things are going well for you, there's probably a reason things are going well. So you're evidently doing something right. But anyway around, if you see someone that's less fortunate, or if you know someone that's less fortunate, show them the love that's owed to them. You know, that's what holiday season's all about. There shouldn't be a holiday season. It should be all year round, for that matter. Show that sign of goodwill. Buy somebody a cup of coffee. Buy somebody lunch. You know, and let them know in some way that you're there for them. So with that being said, we're going to delve into this last film called Everyday Courtesy. And it still speaks volumes. It's somewhat over the top in some ways, but yet it still sends the message. And with that being said, I'm not going to be returning after this film, so I hope you have yourselves a happy, bountiful, and safe holiday season.
We are visiting room 10 to see an exhibit on courtesy. May I present Mrs. Anderson and her son Bill, who is in the class. They too have come to watch to see if the people actually display courtesy. Watch how Pete and Marion act as host and hostess. They know that courtesy means showing respect, thinking of the other person, real friendliness. When Pete mentions the neat job Bill did on the exhibit, Bill is pleased. That's courtesy at work. You can see, too, that everyone in the class must have done a great deal of thinking about courtesy and much work to prepare these posters and the rest of the exhibit. Bill is especially proud of his part in the exhibit. The artwork on this large poster, ways to show that we are thinking of other people. We help to make our meetings with other people courteous by using such words as please. Whenever we ask for anything, it shows our friendliness and courtesy if we ask with please. On the other hand, thank you is a simple way to repay those who do things for you. Another expression we need all the time is excuse me. It lets other people know that you are thinking of them when you say, excuse me. Still, another way to smooth your meetings with other people is, may I? If you must interrupt, 2 words will show that you mean well. Simply, may I? Notice how pleasant and thoughtful Mrs. Anderson is as she expresses interest in Bill's ideas on the poster. Bill graciously shares the credit with his classmates. It was a joint project, he explains, during their study of courtesy. While Pete and Marion posed, Bill sketched the action.
Please.
With that sketch finished, ready for final artwork, Pete got ready to play the guest for the next pose. Marion was the hostess, offering him a cookie.
Thank you.
Pete showed that he appreciated her kindness. For the next demonstration, they needed another chair to make a sofa, and they needed a telephone. Joan played the other girl in conversation with Marion. Marion had to interrupt to answer the phone.
Please excuse me.
She was pleasant and courteous as she excused herself. In the next pose, Marion had something important to say, or else she wouldn't have interrupted.
May I?
Marion is considerate of her friends. Besides these examples of courtesy, there are others. For instance, Mrs. Anderson's way of constructive suggestion. And notice how Bill begins his reply.
It's really quite good, Bill. But don't you think these courteous ways can be used in more than just these 4 situations?
Oh, yes, you're right, Mother. That's why we put the captions on the poster. We need them all the time.
Yes, we do need these simple expressions all the time to show that we are thinking of the other person. On the table is a scrapbook, especially prepared for the exhibit. It also showed consideration of the other person. The exact form of an invitation letter may vary, but this is an example.
Dear parents, an exhibit of our schoolwork and courtesy will be held in room 10 of the Sunnyside School on May 29th from 7:30 to 9 p.m. We hope you can come. Your friends, the class of room 10.
Notice the details about place, date, and time, as well as a few words of cordial invitation. This type of invitation needs no acceptance, but the class prepared an example of one for their scrapbook.
Dear friends, we thank you very much for the invitation to your exhibit in room 10 of the Sunnyside School on May 29 from 7:30 to 9 p.m. We shall be pleased to see your work on courtesy. Sincerely yours, your parents.
A letter of acceptance shows all the same details to be sure they are correct. There is also a sample letter of regret stating why the person could not accept. On the next few pages of the scrapbook are drawings and poems Pete had made about courtesy when using the telephone. Answer promptly. Don't keep the other person waiting. Friendliness is one of the main parts of courtesy. It saves time and makes your conversation more pleasant if you speak distinctly. It's courteous to be brief. Someone else may want to use the telephone. So much for the scrapbook. Over here is a poster that another student made. Be a good listener. It pleases the speaker to know you are really interested in him. And then, too, you can learn much by listening carefully. Mrs. Anderson is being a good listener now, isn't she? And then there's the matter of introductions. How will Bill introduce his mother and his teacher?
Mother, may I present Miss Barton, our teacher?
See how Bill shows respect to his mother by mentioning her first. Because she is the older woman, he presents Miss Barton to her. And he helps their conversation get started by explaining who Miss Barton is.
It's so nice to meet you, Mrs. Anderson. Bill has told me how much he enjoys your class. He's learned so much about courtesy. How did you teach him to make such a polite introduction?
Perhaps Bill should explain that, Mrs. Anderson.
Well, in our practice in class, we learned that introducing people was just a matter of showing respect. Marion, I'd like to introduce my friend Pete.
Bill mentioned the girl's name first and showed respect by presenting the boy to her. You can mention either name first with 2 boys of the same age.
Bill, this is Pete. Pete Dalton, Bill Anderson.
How do you do, Bill? Hello, Pete.
So the poster that grew out of this practice is included in the exhibit. And that's how the class learned that introductions are really easy. Just remember to show respect. Besides showing respect, your introductions can help the conversation to begin. Notice how Bill's mother introduces her friends, Mr. and Mrs. Hall.
Mrs. Hall, this is Miss Barton, the teacher in this room. Mrs. Hall is Joan Hall's mother.
Miss Barton, as hostess, offers her hand. Next, Mr. Hall is presented to Miss Barton. And finally, Bill is presented to Mr. and Mrs. Hall. Remember the order? There's a technique to shaking hands. No one likes to have his hand crushed by a bear, nor to clasp one like this, sometimes referred to as dead fish. And so the introductions have been completed, and the group settles down to friendly conversation. Well, it's time to go now. What have you seen here? That is, what have you seen besides the posters and scrapbooks of the exhibit? As you watch the host and hostess, their pleasant manner standing at the door to thank their guests for coming, as you see the guests reply graciously, you realize that it's the simple things, being friendly, thinking of the other person, and showing respect that make up everyday courtesy.